Me, I believe the core of this nation started out as a socialistic concept, and that capitalism was brought in through the industrial revolution by greedy merchant robber barons who wanted to pillage the average man. And that's my opinion.
Well, I am glad to be here to clean up the mess that this guy has just put in your minds. If you're not confused and ready to commit suicide by now, I would be amazed. Capitalism, the United States was created and founded upon freedom, not capitalism. All men are created equal. We are all free. We have the ability to do what we want. Socialism is when the government controls every part and everything in your life. You can't do nothing. You are not mobile. You know, as the government continues to encroach on our lives, everything you hate in what government does to you, that's socialism. The United States is created on freedom. The more we give bureaucrats power, whenever you do something, it has to go through someone that is a bureaucrat. Okay, let's calculate. When you have a problem with a corporation or an individual, you have the right to leave that company and go elsewhere. When you're dealing with socialism, you're dealing with the government. What rights do you have? What choices? Zero. A bureaucrat gives you no choice. You ever try to get a bureaucrat to admit that they were wrong in any instance? You ever try to sue a government bureaucracy? You cannot, because they will stomp on you every step of the way. That is socialism, where the government owns everything, the land. You know, think of all the things that you can't do, it's owned by government. Think of all the things you can do, it's owned by private property, meaning individuals own this property. They turned it into a business, turned it into commerce, where we have the rights and the freedom to come here and to socialize and talk about anything we want. This scenario in socialism would be considered against the law, because if we were talking negatively about the entity called government, we would all be arrested for treason. Think about that. That's the difference between... See, Wiley explains it as socialism as a theory, but they never explain the practice of how insidious the people who run socialism are. Name me one socialist country that has prospered over the centuries.
The United States of America.
The United States of America is not a socialist country.
We are considered a welfare state.
Yes.
That is socialism.
That's not, the welfare state is not socialism.
What is it?
Because you are not technically forced to be there. All people have put themselves in a position to where they've been beaten down so much by the system that they can never move out of it, because it's easier for the government entity to keep you voting for them by providing you just enough meager substance to keep you alive, to keep you happy.
You know what's amazing to me?
Think about that.
The capitalists seem to have the argument that they don't need socialism.
It's not about
socialism. Does nothing for me. That's a great feeling when you're on top. But the second you fall, what do the capitalists do? They run to the government. Can you give me a loan? Can you bail me out? Can you give me TARP funds? Can you let me file bankruptcy? That's socialism.
That's correct.
How is it when you're doing good, everything is great, but when you're doing bad, big brother, can you help me? Uncle Sam, can you help me? That's socialism.
That is corrupt socialism.
That is socialism in itself. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. Every company goes and does it.
No. Every company run by Democrats, like all these entities run by Democrats.
If you've taken out a single loan that is a federal loan, it's socialism. If you got a government grant while you were in college, it's socialism. But the government is funding you.
If you look at all the entities he talks about, they were all created by liberal Democrats who love socialism, like Watley. They've created the scenario where you have to, the only way you can get a loan is through Fannie Mae, a corrupt entity who's basically destroyed our, economic system. Our property values were all destroyed by the socialist asswipes who created that and have used that as their money pit to collect votes. Think about that.
Well,
socialism was that entity. Basically, you can't get a loan unless you process through a government entity, and they basically forced banks to only accept that they be approved, that contract be approved by Fannie Mae. You can get loans out there, but people want the guarantee that the government provides through the Fannie Mae system and the Freddie Mac system. So they've created that entity and have shifted the ability for capitalism to exist in the realm of ownership. That's why now what they're doing is, before you were able to easily purchase a property for sale by owner, financed by owner. Now they're trying to eliminate that because more and more people have started, they can't go to the bank, they can't get a loan.
What about the concept of homesteading? When we forged west, how did those people that crossed the Missouri River and went out into the west, how did they get their land, Anthony? It was given to them by the government.
But who said that the government had the rights to that land?
That's socialism.
No, it's not. You don't even know.
They didn't buy it. They didn't work for it. They got it from the government. They went out, they found a piece of stick in the ground and said, "Thank you, Uncle Sam." That's socialism.
Yeah, but you're taking an instance where the government has pretty much taken the property and then given it to others. Now, give me, for instance, any nation on this planet, past or present, that you would reflect to say, that is the model of socialism.
United States of America.
That's not, you're talking gibberish, because the United States was never founded as socialism.
We the people.
Exactly.
That is socialism.
No, it's not. Socialism is we, the government, who owns every bit of everything you do.
The government is the people.
No,
for the people, by the people.
Oh, excuse me. Let me interject real quick before you get back to your test. If anybody got any questions, they can go back there, and then we can put the camera on you, but now you get back to it.
Right.
Okay. Explain to me then why, if it's we the people, why do we then vote for government and government people?
We're going to open it up for discussion now. Again, we've offered two sides, and any questions you have on either side, please feel free to ask.
I don't know if it's a question or maybe just something to say, but maybe just throw this idea. Actually, I'm sorry, what's your name?
Tony, please.
I have a lot to say about what you said, but I don't think we have time for that.